Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's talk about the animal kingdom. I mean, it is a vast, bewildering, incredible place, isn't it? From the tiniest little organism to the biggest blue whale, the sheer variety of life out there can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. So, how in the world do scientists make any sense of it all? Turns out they've got a toolkit for sorting life, and today we're going to open it up. Just look at that number, over 1 million. That's how many animal species we've managed to actually describe so far. And you know what? Scientists think that's just a tiny fraction of what's really out there. The diversity is absolutely staggering. So when you're faced with this beautiful, chaotic mess, where do you even begin to find the pattern? It sounds like a pretty simple question, right? But the answer, well, the answer gets to the very heart of how we classify life. A sponge and a spider are both animals, sure, but they could not be more different. One is basically a simple filter feeder stuck to a rock. The other is this complex, active predator. To really sort them out, we've got to look a lot deeper than what we just see on the surface. And here is the secret. Beneath all of that wild, incredible diversity, there are only a handful of fundamental architectural blueprints. These are the basic body plans that evolution has been tinkering with for hundreds of millions of years. And once you understand these core designs, you can start to see how the entire animal family tree is actually built. So let's crack open that toolkit. We're about to explore the 3 fundamental rules that biologists use to classify pretty much any animal on the planet. Think of them as the 3 key questions you have to ask to figure out where any creature fits into the grand scheme of things. First up, the level of organization. This is the most basic question we can ask. I mean, are an animal's building blocks just a loose collection of cells kind of working together? Or have they assembled into something way more structured, way more complex? You can think of this progression as a ladder of complexity. At the very bottom rung, you've got the cellular level, just cells cooperating. Then you take a step up, and those cells group into tissues. Tissues then combine to create organs, like a heart or a stomach. And at the very top, those organs work together in these sophisticated systems. Each step up that ladder just unlocks brand new possibilities for life. Okay, our next tool in the kit is symmetry. This is all about an animal's basic geometric shape. And I know, it might sound a little simple, but an animal's symmetry reveals a surprising amount about how it lives and experiences the world. This really breaks down into 2 main options. On one side, you've got radial symmetry. Think of a pizza or a pie. You can slice it into equal halves right through the center from pretty much any angle. This design is perfect for an animal that just floats around or stays in one spot, like a jellyfish, meeting the world from all directions at once. Then you have bilateral symmetry, a distinct right and a left side, a perfect mirror image. This is the blueprint for animals that are on the move, leading with a head. Our final tool is the column. Now, this one's a little more technical, but it is an absolute game changer in evolution. The column is an internal, fluid-filled body cavity. It's basically open space inside the body, and that space allows organs to develop, to move, and to function on their own without getting squished every time the animal moves. It's the innovation that allows for real, true internal complexity. Now, the crucial point here is that not all animals have this feature. The simplest ones are acoelomates. They're basically solid inside, no cavity. Others developed a kind of false cavity, what we call a pseudocoelom. But the most complex animals, including you and me, we're coelomates. We have a true body cavity that really opened the door for all of our advanced organ systems. Okay, so we've got our 3 tools: level of organization, symmetry, and the column. Now for the fun part. Let's put them to work and see how they help us build the tree of life, starting from the very, very simplest branches. We're going to start at the very base of the tree with phylum Porifera. You know them as sponges. So let's apply our toolkit. They're at the cellular level of organization. They don't really have a defined shape, which makes them asymmetrical. And they're solid inside, so they're acoelomate. It's pretty much the most basic body plan you can have. All right, let's take one step up the complexity ladder to phylum Cnidaria. We're talking jellyfish and corals. Here, cells are organized into true tissues. That's an upgrade. They have that pie-like lateral symmetry we talked about, but notice they're still acoelomate, no internal body cavity. We're really seeing the first rungs of that evolutionary ladder. This little table here, it lays it all out like a cheat sheet. You can literally trace the evolutionary steps. You go from porifera to cnidaria to the next group up, the platyhelminthes or flatworms, and you can just see that complexity building feature by feature. And right here, with the flatworms, this is a major leap forward. We see two absolute game-changing innovations show up together for the very first time. Distinct organs and that all-important bilateral symmetry. This combination, this is what opens the door for purposeful movement, for having a head, and eventually for developing a centralized brain. This is a big deal. Okay, let's jump ahead to a much more complex creature, the humble earthworm, from phylum Annelida. Now we're talking. We see full organ systems. We've got bilateral symmetry and, for the first time on our little journey, a true column. Plus, they add a new trick to the mix, segmentation. These repeating body units allow for much more specialized movement and function. And that very same bilateral columnate body plan provides the foundation for the single most successful animal phylum on the entire planet, Arthropoda. We're talking insects, spiders, crabs, the whole shebang. They all share these advanced features, plus their own unique innovations, like a protective exoskeleton and those incredibly versatile jointed legs. Okay, so we've traveled all the way from sponges and jellyfish to worms and insects. It's been quite a trip. But what about us? Where do we, and all the other animals with backbones, fit into this grand map? Well, it's time to find our own branch on the tree. And here we are. After that whole journey up the tree of life, we finally land at our home base, phylum Chordata. This is an incredibly diverse group. It includes everything from fish and birds to reptiles and, of course, mammals like us. So what is it that unites all of us chordates? You might think it's a backbone, but the story actually goes deeper than that. It all comes down to three key features that we all share at some point in our development: a flexible support rod called a notochord, a nerve cord that runs along our back, and something called pharyngeal slits, which become gills in fish or parts of our jaw and ear. And this, to me, is the truly amazing part. That basic chordate blueprint, those three simple features, that is the deep, ancient connection that links a tuna in the ocean, an eagle in the sky, a blue whale, and you. It is a shared heritage that's literally written into our bodies. So, as we start to wrap this up, it's pretty clear this classification system isn't just about sticking animals into neat little boxes. No, it's a dynamic map of evolutionary history. Every single phylum, every new feature we've talked about, it represents a branching point on that map, a new solution to the puzzle of survival that sent life down an entirely new path. And you know what? This map is not finished. It's constantly being updated. As we discover new species, as we analyze genetic data in more and more detail, our understanding of all these relationships, it changes. So the real question is, what new connections are we going to uncover next, and how is it going to change our understanding of life's incredible unfolding story?